All right, guys, I think we're ready to go. Getting a little bit of a late start today for our yoga flow. I'm Rachel with the Bloomin' Witch. Tonight's practice is going to be a heart-centered practice, so lots of back bends and chest openers. So I would recommend getting some yoga props if you need them. Oops. If you have any yoga blocks, I would recommend having yoga blocks available. Excuse me. Have some water, have your playlist going on in the background, and just make sure you set up in a way where you have everything that you need. You are going to be comfortable and supported. And we'll get started here in a few moments. If you were with me earlier on my Daily Bloom Midday check-in and meditation, it was about opening to love and welcoming love in. So I thought that this would be a good complementary practice for today's meditation. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So go ahead and make your way to your mat. And again, if you need yoga blocks, I'd go ahead and grab one. If you don't have a yoga block, you could grab a pillow or stack a couple of blankets, or even grab some books, stack a book, and maybe put a blanket on top of that to help cushion them. So that's totally up to you. We are actually going to start today lying down, all of us, in reclining butterfly pose. So you can take the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to open up nice and wide. And we'll start with both hands right at the center of the chest over the heart. And take this opportunity to feel the ground up and down the back side of your body, where your body connects with the earth. And then take another moment to feel all the space around you, the air on your skin. And with each breath, feeling how your chest expands and contracts. Beginning with some slow, gentle breaths. And this might also be the time for you to set an intention for your practice. Maybe setting an intention to open towards love. You can keep your hands on your heart, or if you'd like, stretch them overhead. Let's bring the knees together and then open again and flutter the knees open and closed a few times. And then allowing knees to come together, opening the feet slightly wider than the hips. And if you'd like, you may rest your arms by your sides and allow knees to drop from side to side. And as your knees drop over to the right, let's hold them there and take a few breaths. And then lift the knees, lower them down to the other side, and again, take a few breaths. And allow the knees to lift, tug them into your chest. And let's use this opportunity to circle the knees around in one direction. And then reverse. And we'll hug them back in. And let's rock ourselves up to a seat. And onto our hands and knees. Planting the palms directly under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and we'll start off with some cat-cow. So let's start to round the spine first. We inhale, and then as we exhale, belly drops towards the mat, heart opens. Inhale, the belly draws in and up. And exhale, the opposite direction. 3 more, breathing in and out. Inhale, exhale. 1 more round. Coming back towards a neutral spine. So keeping hips stacked over tops of the knees, heart melting pose, hands start to extend out in front of us and forehead and chest lower towards the floor. And 1 more breath here. We'll transition onto the belly, hips, and then the forearms. So we'll keep the elbows aligned underneath the shoulders, coming into Sphinx pose. So we'll inhale and start to draw the heart forward, lift up out of the shoulders, and then feel the toe tips reaching towards the back wall. One more breath in. Exhaling, and as the forehead lowers, fingertips slide back under the shoulders. And then we inhale, lift again with very little weight in the hands towards cobra. Exhale, forehead to floor. Inhale, we lift the head up, chest up, slide the elbows back out towards Sphinx. And let's start to hug the belly button in towards the spine. So feel your navel pull away from the mat. We'll hold here for a moment. The option from here is to keep that core engagement and then lift the hips towards a supported dolphin plank. The other option is to tuck the toes under, engage the legs in such a way where you feel your kneecaps lift off the mat. Make sure the belly is still engaged, and then lift the hips. So in one option, you have knees on the ground, and the second option, the knees are raised. And we're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's press up onto the hands and then send the hips back towards the heels in downward facing dog. And then once you establish hands and feet placement in your downward dog so your position feels sustainable to your body, let's start to walk it out, pedal the feet. And one way I like to do a little bit of heart opening here is to add a twist. So let's start by stepping our feet out towards edges of the mat. And then we can keep the hands where they are. Some of you might like to walk the hands a little closer towards the feet. Right hand stays on the ground, left hand reaches across the body for the outer side of the right leg, and we twist, turning the chest towards the right, allowing the head to relax under the arm. We'll take it in reverse. Left hand returns to the floor. Right hand reaches across for the left leg, and we twist left. And then right hand returns back to the mat. We'll step the feet back to a comfortable hip distance. Walk the hands back out towards our downward dog if we move them closer towards the feet. One more breath here. And let's turn our gaze upwards towards the hands. Start to walk the feet forward towards a standing forward fold. Palms come to shins. We inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, we stand up nice and tall. Arms lift overhead, maybe a little back bend, and then exhale the arms down and bring palms to heart. So let's start to work through our first set of sun salutations here, getting the body nice and warm. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lift halfway. Exhale, fold. I'll have you walk it back to downward dog first. Inhale forward to a high or supported plank. So that means knees might be up, knees might come to the mat. Either way, we engage. We exhale all the way down towards belly, chest, and forehead. Inhale, lifting, opening towards cobra. Exhale, forehead to floor. Let's re-engage the core, decide if we would like to use the knees or not. Press ourselves upwards to plank and hips back, downward dog. So we'll take it from the top, big breath in. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Breathing in, lifting halfway. Breathing out, forward fold. Inhale, we rise tall. Exhale, palms to heart. Okay, second round, breathing in. Exhale, forehead, forward fold. Inhale, pressing halfway up. Exhale, lower, walk it back, downward dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, with control, lower down towards belly and chest. Inhale, open towards cobra. Exhale, forehead to floor. Inhale, up to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Deep breath. Looking towards the hands. When you're ready, walk or hop, top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise tall. Exhale, palms to heart. Inhale, we lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower. Walk it back, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale towards belly and chest. Inhale, shoulders roll back, heart opens, cobra. Exhale, forehead returns to earth. Inhale, up to plank. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. Let's pause here. You can stay in downward dog. You might also choose to lower your knees to the mat and rest in child's pose. Okay, just a quick break. So let's return back to downward dog. Hips reaching for the back. And then looking up towards the hands. When you're ready, walk or hop all the way to the top of your mat. Pressing halfway up, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up nice and tall. Exhale, palms to heart. So let's stretch and open up the side body a little bit here. So breathing in, arms lift all the way overhead. You can grab your left wrist with your right hand, like so, and then find a side stretch over to your right in crescent pose. And we inhale, lifting all the way up, grabbing hold of opposite wrist and exhaling to the left. Inhale, we rise once again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. This time, exhale, left foot steps back to a lunge. We can lower back knee to the floor. Inhale the arms up overhead for Anjaneyasana. And with every breath, let's move the body very gently. So with an inhale, we feel the hips pull away up off of the mat. We exhale, kind of settle down into the hips again. Inhale, the energy draws up. Exhale, it settles. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. So let's take left hand, bringing fingertips towards the left hamstring, and then the right fingertips reach upwards. We open the chest, relax the head slightly. Try not to collapse it all the way back. You can think about fingertips, or rather your gaze, following your fingertips. And we inhale, both arms reach up tall. With an exhale, we twist. Both hands come to our right hip. We'll turn our chest and gaze towards the right. And inhaling back to center, arms lift up. Exhale, both hands to floor. We'll step back to plank. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, we lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, pull up through the belly and send the hips back to downward dog. Take 3 breaths. And we look to the hands. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Breathing in, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise tall, arms lift. Exhale, palms to heart. Repeating from the top, inhale, both arms up. This time you can interlace fingers, point the index finger up. However, if you'd rather grab the wrist like we did earlier, you may do that. So we lift up nice and tall, directing energy up through the pointer fingers. Exhale, leaning towards the right, back into crescent pose. Inhale, we rise tall. Exhale, lean to your left. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, lifting halfway. Exhale, we fold. This time right foot steps back towards a lunge. Back knee lowers down. And then inhale, both arms rise towards Anjaneyasana. And then we'll find that subtle sort of up and down movement with the breath. So we inhale, feel the hips lift and pull back. Exhale, release. Inhale, energy draws up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. And exhale. Right hand reaches back and finds the right leg. And then the breath draws that left side up, open. Gaze follows the fingertips. Shoulders relax. Inhale, we rise up towards Anjaneyasana. Exhale, we twist, hands come to the left hip, turning our gaze towards the back wall. And let's inhale, reaching the hands upwards. Exhale, hands come to the mat. We step back to plank, take a full breath in. And we lower towards belly and chest or halfway down should we find upward facing dog. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. 3 breaths here. And we'll look to the hands, deep inhale. Exhale, walk or light hop forward towards top of mat. Palms to shins, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Transitioning right towards chair pose. So we'll start to bend knees, lower hips, and then we breathe the arms up, heart open. Keeping a little more weight back in the heels and making sure the belly is pulled in to support the back. We'll inhale, stand nice and tall. Exhale, palms come to heart. Let's pause here. Take a moment to really anchor the feet into the floor. Maybe place both hands over heart center. And then once again, repeat your intention for opening towards love. Okay, when you're ready, arms relax down by the sides. And we'll take another deep breath. When you feel ready, arms rise, we breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left foot back towards a lunge. We lower the back knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, let those hips settle. Inhale, the hips lift and pull back slightly. Exhale, lower. Inhale, subtle movement up. Exhale, into the hips. This time we'll tuck back toes under. Now lift the back knee up. We inhale, let's see if we can straighten the front leg. Exhale, lunge, bend the front knee. Inhale, front leg straightens. Exhale, we bend. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, bend and take that back knee all the way down again. And then just as before, left hand reaches back, right arm reaches upwards. We lift up through the chest and upper back, and then back into our heart opener here. Breathing both arms up. Exhale, we twist. Hands can either come to the right hip, or you might choose to extend both arms forward and back, reaching through all 10 fingers. And you might even start to pull those hips up and back just a little. Swinging that back arm through and around, we breathe both arms up. Exhale, palms come to mat, we step back towards plank. Hold it here for a good solid breath. And we exhale, either lowering down towards belly and chest and then a cobra, or take it halfway down and then upward facing dog. Exhale all the way back towards downward dog. Take 3 breaths. And keep in mind, if you need to pause and rest, you may always drop to your knees and come to child's pose. All right, so back towards downward dog. We'll take a deep inhale. Exhale, walker hop all the way to the top of your mat. Breathing in, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Standing up tall. Exhale, palms to heart. So we'll take our chair pose from standing this time. Let's inhale, arms up. And then the hips lower, knees bend, belly is in. If you have any shoulder pain, you're always welcome to take hands to heart here. So again, feeling the weight draw back into the hips and the heels. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, right foot steps back, knee lowers. Sweeping both arms all the way up. And then we can drop down into those hips. Inhale, that subtle lift. Exhale, subtle drop. Inhale, subtle lift. Exhale, subtle drop. Back toes tuck under. We lift the back knee for crescent lunge. We inhale, front leg straight. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, and the back knee lowers down again. Right hand reaches back for left or right leg, so right to right. Left arm lifts, we open up. Feeling energy draw down into the heart center. And next inhale takes us back towards Anjaneyasana. Exhale, both hands return to the left hip as we twist, or you might choose the arm extension here. We inhale, back arm swings forward and lifts. Exhale, palms return to mat. We step towards plank. Take one full breath. Inhale deep. Exhale lower. Inhale cobra or upward dog. Exhale back towards downward dog. And let's all drop to the knees. Come to child's pose here. And just allow your belly to soften for a few moments between the knees, relaxing forehead to mat. Maybe taking a moment to settle back into that space of an open heart and whatever intention you set. And while we're here, let's take both hands and start to walk them over towards the right side, shoulders pointing towards the right. Getting some nice lateral flexion here in the spine. And then we'll do the same on the other side, walking hands and upper body over to the left. And taking a deep breath, feeling that right side of the body expand and open with your inhale. And contract with your exhale. As you're ready, return back towards center. And we'll start to reach those fingertips out. Let's lift ourselves back up towards table, making sure those knees are about hip distance, and we'll come back towards Anahatasana or heart-melting pose, just like we did at the start of class. So knees stay stacked, knees stay aligned underneath the hips. Walk the hands out, bring the head and chest towards the floor. So it's a bit similar to child's pose, except your hips are elevated. And for those of you that have the range of motion, it feels safe. You might even bring your chin to the mat and look forward. And now that the body is a little warmer, you might notice you're able to experience this pose with a bit more ease. And I know for me, I like to sort of play around with the distance between my arms. Typically for me, I like to have my arms a little wider, but that really is up to your body. And one more breath. Let's start to walk our hands back underneath the shoulders. Send the hips back towards the heels. Tuck my cord back in here. So if you are not comfortable sitting on your heels due to any ankle or knee issues, feel free to come into a comfortable cross-leg position, Sukhasana or easy seat. And you can still work and move the upper body in a similar way, but you can remove some of that pressure and weight out of the knees. So again, whether you're in easy seat or whether you are in Virasana, right hand reaches back behind you and we'll scoop the left arm all the way up. Now you have the option to keep the hips on the heels, or if you're comfortable, it feels available, the hips might lift. We can take sort of this kind of half camel's pose here. And just, exploring your edge. And then if the hips are elevated, go ahead and lower those hips down. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So left hand will kind of rest behind us, back by the hip on the mat. Right arm will scoop up, starting to pull the energy up through the chest. And then you have the option as well, if you want, to lift the hips. And the hips return back towards the mat, coming towards a simple twist. So again, this works whether you're cross-legged or seated on the heels. We'll simply take left arm, cross it towards the opposite leg, lift up through the crown of the head. So collarbone and chest stays nice and broad. We can turn our gaze back towards the right shoulder. So it's important that we don't slouch here. And we inhale, return back to center. Exhale, twisting, turning towards the opposite direction. And allowing the breath to flow with ease in and out. Returning back to center, let's just roll out the shoulders a little bit, shake out the arms, shake out the hands. Maybe move the head around a little bit, just kind of loosen up and get some energy flowing again. When you're ready, palms return to mat. We make our way towards downward facing dog. So again, hips are feet are a comfortable hip distance. Fingers can spread wide. We're actively pressing down through the fingertips, the backs of the knuckles along the fingers, trying to pull some of the weight away from the base of the hand where the wrist crease is. And you might take another moment here to walk it out if you'd like. Sometimes it feels nice to remain perfectly still, and other times I like a little bit of movement. So let's take a nice deep breath, coming towards plank, feeling the shoulder blades hug right onto the spine, engage the inner thighs, feel the core strong. And again, the breath flows in, flows out. Anyone needing support for the lower back or the core, or just need a more sort of accessible or gentle variation, feel free to drop your knees to the mat, but try not to lose the integrity of the pose, even with the knees down. So we're holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's send the hips back, downward dog. Take a deep breath. Returning back to plank or supported plank. One deep breath in. Exhale, we lower about halfway down. Keep those elbows in. Inhale for upward facing dog, lifting up through the crown. And then see if you can move from the core. Start to pull the belly into the spine first. Roll over tops of the feet. Send the hips back. Deep inhale. Looking up towards the hands. Exhale, walk or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, we lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Let's step open the feet a little bit wider. You can take hands into elbows if you want, or let the arms just kind of hang, and then maybe just sway or shake things out a little. If you're holding any tension through the head or neck or shoulders, just try to kind of shimmy and shake it out a bit. And then small bend in the knees to help support lower back. We can let those arms continue just relaxing and hanging by our sides. We'll slowly roll ourselves upwards towards standing. And once again, just kind of shake and shimmy it out. My cord keeps wanting to get away from me here. All right, so let's play a little bit with Natarajasana, or standing bow pose, dancer's pose. It has a few different names here. So if you are uncomfortable or feeling relatively unbalanced, I would recommend you finding a space at the wall. If you have an empty space at the wall, you can do that. If you have one of those really thick cushy mats, you might find more stability by stepping onto something that feels a little more solid. So I do have a pretty thick, dense mat, so I don't typically have an issue here. If you are going to use the wall, I would recommend facing the wall so that when you extend your right arm in front of you, the fingertips can lightly rest there rather than trying to hold at the side. So facing the direction you want to go. So we're starting off with the right leg as our standing leg. So before we do anything, we want to establish a strong mountain pose or Tadasana pose here. So I like to step my feet a comfortable hip distance. This might be different for different people. Really spreading out the toes, making sure I'm kind of pressing down through each of the four corners of both of my feet. So now shifting weight into my right side. I'm going to start with my hands on my hip. And before I do anything, I'm lifting my left foot off the floor about an inch. That's all. Just getting a sense of how it feels to balance on my right side. And you might notice that your ankle wobbles around a little bit. So again, if you would like to have some added support, don't hesitate to hold on to a wall, but try not to rely on the wall or lean on the wall. It's just lightly supporting you. And then we can drop that left foot down. We're going to switch, shift weight into the left leg and feel that right foot just hover maybe an inch or so off the floor. If you can, try to maintain just a little micro bend in the knee so you're not locking out the legs or overextending or hyperextending at the knee joint. And then we'll drop that right foot down. I like to shake out my legs a little bit here. All right, so we're back into the right side as our standing leg. So this time, what I'm going to do is bring my left arm by my side like I'm holding a tray. Right hand can start at the hip, and I'm shifting weight back into my right leg, maybe lift my left foot just an inch off the floor. And then my left knee bends. I bring my heel in towards my back side, and I can use this left hand to grab the inside of the foot. That's how I typically grab. Some people might feel more comfortable on the outside, so you can play with both, see what one feels better. Now when I come into this pose, I want to try to keep my knees aligned, kind of showing you from all directions here. So what I want to try to avoid is my knee just sort of flying out into space. So I want to draw the energy inward so that the inner thighs are parallel. And then I'm starting to kick my foot into my hand. Now I don't have to travel very far to engage that action, but I'm feeling some action here. My right arm reaches out in front of me. I can kind of draw my shoulder back onto the spine a bit. And I'm going to continue kicking my foot into my hand, and then I might start to lift a little. Now sometimes what happens here is I'm a little extra poofy in the front because of my mic here, but people will kind of dump the belly just to get into this back bend. So I really want you to try to keep strong core engagement, keep the belly kind of hugging in towards the spine, and move more from the hip flexor rather than dumping the belly and really causing a lot of strain on that lower back. So kicking upwards, belly is in, my gaze is fixed. And again, my right leg might wobble, that's fine. And if you fall out, just try it again. And then notice your tendency to hold your breath here. Sometimes when things feel challenging or difficult, we do that without even realizing it. Okay, just another breath. And when you're ready, go ahead and release. That right leg might have a little burning happening, so you can kind of shake that out, kind of tap it out a little bit. Might feel it in the glutes a little bit. And we're going to go for the other side. All right, so left hand at hip, right arm out like we're holding a tray. I'm shifting weight into my left leg this time. I got backwards looking at myself in the camera. All right, so right arm at my side, weight in my left leg. My right foot can lift maybe just an inch, get a feel for it here. And then when I'm ready, start to bend at the knee, pulling heel into my body, and I can reach back, hold my foot. And if you're not able to quite grab your foot, if you have a strap at home, and if you don't have a strap, a men's tie or a cloth or something could also work. You could hook around your foot and hold the strap or tie or cloth with your hand. And then when you're ready, you might start to kick that foot into the hand. Keep kicking, keep kicking, keep kicking, feeling that lift happen without dumping the belly forward. So belly is in. Left arm can extend as acting as a bit of a counterbalance here. And you don't have to be overly focused on hinging forward at the hips. However, it is an option, again, as long as you're not kind of losing the foundation or structure of the pose. One more breath. And when you're ready, go ahead and release. Let's shake out that left leg and then make your way back to the top of your mat. We'll take one more vinyasa just to let the energy move through the body. So when you're ready, big inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, I like to walk it back to downward dog here. Take a breath. Next breath, we come towards plank. Just aligning everything from head to heels. Exhale, I lower halfway down. Inhale, upwards for upward facing dog. Feel the core engagement. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. And let's drop back to the knees towards child's pose. We'll take one breath. Adding a thread the needle variation. So right arm can stay extended out in front of you. Left arm threads underneath right. My left ear will lower down towards the mat. And we'll inhale, coming back through center, extending left arm forward. And as I exhale, right arm threads through, right ear towards the floor. And then once again, coming out of my twist back towards center, one more breath. And I can draw fingertips underneath my shoulders, press myself up towards a seat, extend both legs out in front of me. We did a lot of heart opening, back bending, so let's start to kind of relax and calm the nervous system a bit with some forward fold. So we'll start with Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. So go ahead and extend those legs out, pull the flesh away from your sits bones. Some of you may feel more comfortable, might feel better for the body to have the feet flexed and the toes pointed upwards. You can press into the balls of your feet this way and spread the toes out, send some energy down through the heels. You may prefer to take Barbie feet here. So again, pressing through the balls of the feet, heels are really kind of plugging down into the mat. If the hamstrings are still pretty tight, feel free to keep a small bend in the knees. So as we're coming into the forward fold, again, nice broad collarbone, nice open chest. What we want to try to avoid is slouching and dumping downwards. So rather than bringing your chin down towards the tops of the thighs or the knees, try to think about touching your chin towards the toes. Now, chances are, they're not actually, your chin's not actually going to touch, but that is the energy and the direction in which the body ideally moves. So shoulders back, we'll sit up tall, and then take it nice and slow. You can kind of walk the hands down the legs, and then when you feel the first level of resistance, maybe just pause here. Breathe into it. Assess it. And if you feel like there is more room to move, maybe you lower down another inch or two, and then pause. And you can do that as many times as you need. And if you notice the shoulders starting to sort of creep up by the ears, you might decide to maybe lift up an inch or two and relax the shoulders back. And then slowly let's start to walk the hands back up the legs towards a nice tall spine. We'll do a little core work to come down towards the floor. So I'm scooting forward a little bit, bending my knees, and I can either keep my feet flat or lift the toes up and just root into the heels of my feet. Arms are reaching forward. I'm going to retract the shoulders back onto the spine a bit. Engage my core, so nice strong belly here. And then as slowly as I can, I'm using control to lower down one vertebrae at a time. Now before my spine hits the mat, I'm going to get to a point where I can feel my tailbone sort of tuck under a bit. And then I'm going to hold here and take a couple of breaths. Maybe let the body shake a little bit. And then again, with as much control as I have, and if I need to use hands or elbows, I can, but if I
Want to keep the arms extending forward, that's also an option. I take it down very slowly, one by one. My vertebrae touches the mat, shoulders back, and then I can just kind of plop and relax open. Sometimes I like to give my hips a little bit of a wiggle here, loosen up the lower back, release any tension in the sacrum. Sometimes I'll even get a pop. As long as it doesn't hurt and feel safe, that's fine. And let's finish with one more twist. So arms open out nice and wide. You have the option to keep the knees side by side, feet side by side. So as you twist and drop knees to the right, you'll have the left knee stacked directly over the right. Sometimes I like to get into this a little deeper by wrapping my left leg over and around my right leg. I'll shift my hips to the right a little bit, and then I'll twist. Knees go one direction, and then if I'd like to take that twist up all the way through my neck, I can turn my head in the opposite direction. And then I'll bring my head back to center first, and as I inhale, come out of my twist. Now ideally, what I do on one side, I'll try to match on the other side, but that is not always available to everyone. So just respond in a way that is appropriate for your needs on this side of the body, and then just take it slow. We never want to move too quickly in or out of a pose. And then I bring my head back to center first. I allow the rest of my body to follow. I'll unwrap the legs if they're wrapped and hug my knees into my chest one more time. Sometimes I even like to finish with a happy baby pose. So maybe grabbing the bottoms of your feet or somewhere along the shins or backs of the knees. And I'm taking a more passive space here rather than active. So I'm just kind of keeping a softness in my legs and in my hips. A little rocking feels nice. And then whatever way feels ideal for you to be set up for your final resting pose or Shavasana, you may go ahead and set up now. Typically, the majority of people prefer to lie down on their back, legs extended out in front of them, and arms a few inches by their sides. You can set up using any pillows, bolsters, or blankets that you like. You may prefer to sit in seated meditation. And if you do that, you might also like to slide a pillow or bolster underneath your hips. So wherever you decide to be, go ahead and just settle in, feeling the weight of your body against the earth. And let's all take a deep inhale, feeling the chest expand. And with your exhale, your entire body contracts, softens, and relaxes. So as you give way to this final resting space, continuing to keep your heart open towards receiving love and giving love, and sitting with whatever intention you set at the beginning of class. So wherever you are in this moment, let's start to welcome ourselves back to present moment awareness, allowing for small movements in the hands and the feet, a deepening of the breath. Just noticing smell, sound, and light in the room. And if you are lying down, go ahead, roll to your side, perhaps bringing knees to chest. You can take just a moment there. And then guide yourself towards a comfortable seat. We'll all place palms together at our heart and allowing the thumbs to gently rest at the heart center. Holding here an Anjali Mudra to seal the energy of our practice and our time together on our mats. And let's all bow head to heart in gratitude for the space of love, for being open towards giving and receiving and living in love. And may we all know love, may we all know peace, may we all know kindness, and may these things always flow to and from us. Namaste. So thank you everyone for being with me on the mat today to practice in this heart-centered flow. I will be back tomorrow at noon for some flower card readings here on the Bloomin' Witch, so I hope you'll join me then. My mom and I are also hosting a Mother's Day event via Zoom this Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There'll be a conversation to discuss motherhood, being a mom, our relationships with our moms, and everything that carries with it. So I will be posting the link on the event page on the Bloomin' Witch, the link to the Zoom room. I'll be posting the day of the meetup. It is a free meetup, so invite your moms, mom friends, sisters, daughters, whoever would like to join in the conversation with us. And then if you'd like to make a donation towards today's class, I will be putting up a link in the comments section. So thank you all so much. I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye.